Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Myself, Dr. Sumeet Patil. So today we all are going to discuss the third part of English literary genres. And the first part, I have made a video on that, which is drama in English literature. The second video was upon fiction in English literature. And today we all are going to learn the another fiction, that is third type of literary genre, which is non-fiction. Now what is non-fiction? Non-fiction means the writings or people have written anything which is real, which is based upon real incidents which has happened in their life or which has happened on this planet. All those things which are written upon true incidents or true things, that is non-fiction. Okay, now before this I have made a video upon fiction. Now fiction means what? Fiction means those things which has happened in the earlier times, or anything or any person have written anything which is not real, which is imagination. Now coming back to this thing, that is non-fiction. Now in this category there are 4 to 5 sub points which are very important. The first and the foremost point is autobiography, second is biography, third is we can say periodicals, as well as narratives and reference books, or we can say references. Now in the references there comes three another subtopics, which is thesaurus, encyclopedia and dictionary. So now I am going to talk in detail about all these things, such as biography, autobiography, reference books and periodicals. So stay tuned and stay focused upon all these sub genres or sub parts of fiction. So now first and the foremost thing is autobiography. Now what is autobiography? Autobiography means it is a life event of a person, any person, whosoever he or she writes upon his life from the birth till death, or we can say later part of his life. Now what is the meaning of the term autobiography? Auto means self, bio means life, and graphy means what? Graphy means to write. So these people, now when these people started to write down autobiographies, autobiographies started to write down in BC, where when we can say Saint Augustine is the first person who started writing autobiographies, and his autobiography was entitled as Confessions. Then after that, the first ever women writer was Leonor Lopez de Cordoba. She was the Spanish woman or Spanish native. She wrote in Spanish, and this is her first ever written book, which is autobiography, entitled as Memoirs or Memoirs. And after that, in 15th century, Babur, the king Babur, who was the founder of Mughal dynasty, he is the first person in the Mughal kings and queens. He first started to write down letters, and through the letters he wrote down his whole life, which is also called as the Baburnama, or in English it is called as the Letters of Babur. And he wrote this in between 1493 and 1529. After that, it comes to we can say 14th century, wherein Margaret Kemp, she wrote her autobiography, and which was written in 1438. She wrote about her life, and thereafter first ever African American women, she wrote autobiography upon her life, how they were we can say oppressed in United States when they were brought from, or they were migrated from Africa to United States as slaves in the initial times. Then this time, wherein she was born in 1783 and died in 1864, it is the period when there were so many disturbances or chaos going between United States, in the United States, to get independence. And on 4th of July 1766, it is the Independence Day of the United States of America. And after that, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, he wrote his autobiography entitled as Confessions. So these are the earliest parts, or we can say earliest autobiographies in the history of whole world. So I will give you in detail about the second part, that is biography henceforth. So before starting biography, I would like to tell you top 10 autobiographies till date. So the first autobiography is Autobiography by Benjamin Franklin, and the title is The Autobiography of Benjamin Franklin by himself. Written from 1771 to 1790, this book contains the life history of one of the America's founding fathers, and his autobiography tells us how a lower middle class youth raised up into one of the most admired men in the world. It also tells us how Benjamin Franklin believed in the American dream and indicated the possibilities of life in the new world. Also, he proved that the world wherein people who work hard, it always pays off, and that indistinguished persons could become one of the great importance in United States, that is America. Another reason why this is a classic due to the historical factors as well as social and political factors, wherein it reveals how life was in the 18th century, wherein idealism, intellectualism, and optimistic beliefs were well expressed. So this autobiography contains 4 parts, which is a totally read, or we can say it is a must to read in one's life. So the next autobiography is written by Nelson Mandela, Long Walk to Freedom by Nelson Mandela, wherein Nelson Mandela's autobiography highlights about his childhood to growing up into a freedom fighter from his 20s, or we can say 27 years in prison, and his significant role in molding up a new democratic South Africa. This book has everything related to how he fought for the freedom. And the next is the autobiography written by Anne Frank, The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank, wherein this autobiography tells us about a Jewish girl along with her family and few friends went into hiding during the Second World War, wherein there was a beautiful piece which describes everything that a 13-year-old girl would experience, wherein typical girlhood consciousness, friendships with other girls, her crushes on boys, and her academic performances are portrayed. Next is Chronicles by Bob Dylan. This is also very famous, which needs no introduction. And this is the first volume of his autobiography, wherein there are 3 chapters, wherein he talks about New York and his life in 1961. The next autobiography is Maya Angelou's I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. This is very famous autobiography, and it is also we can say one of the most wonderful autobiographies ever written, wherein she portrays about struggling black American who went through bitter experiences in the course of her first 17 years. And the next autobiography is by Malcolm X. It is entitled as The Autobiography of Malcolm X, wherein he has portrayed the underside of 20th century American life, and from his poverty during his childhood to the criminal teenagers or teenage, and the emergence as a national figure and later world leader. And later, after this autobiography, is Agatha Christie's autobiography by herself, wherein she has written about her childhood, her affectionate acquaintance with her mother, the tragic episodes that touched her, and her mother's death, and her first husband's adultery, marrying her second husband, and most importantly about her works. And finally, the final autobiography, which is very famous, is Autobiography by Mark Twain. And here, this is a very colorful presentation by Mark Twain, wherein he says it is his style, scope, and imagination, wherein laughter and tragedy, which manifests different roles he had portrayed in a life as a family man, an author, a son, a brother and a friend. So these are some autobiographies wherein which is also called as the top 10 or top autobiographies in the world. So the next point is about biography. Now what is biography? Biography means anything or any person's life which is written by any other person. So that is biography, and after that comes the periodical section and references section. Now periodical section wherein anyone has written research paper on any topic which is published in monthly, annually, biannually or quarterly, wherein their research papers are published. And thereafter comes the reference section wherein dictionary, thesaurus and encyclopedias are written. Now the first and the foremost dictionary was written by Dr. Samuel Johnson. And encyclopedia, in encyclopedia we get so many knowledge, or we can get every knowledge in brief in encyclopedias. And thesaurus people use to get synonyms and antonyms during their any kind of research work. So this is just a gist of everything which is non-fiction, and I think you all have got idea about non-fiction and its types, as well as the final type of non-fiction is travelogues, wherein people, when they travel from one part to another part, is also a very important point or important part in the non-fiction genre. So I hope you all have enjoyed till this point, and don't forget to watch my next video on the last part, that is literary genre on poetry. Thank you very much, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to see my previous videos. Thank you so much.